Hey everybody, welcome to Mad Backyard. Today we're going to be smoking some barbecue chicken thighs on our PIT BOSS Pellet Grill. We're going to show you step by step how we prep the chicken, set up the pellet grill, add extra smoke flavor while they cook, and most importantly, how to make sure you don't end up with rubbery skin so that you can make delicious barbecue chicken thighs every time. Today we're going to be cooking bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. And whenever you're smoking poultry with the skin on, there's a couple things you want to make sure you do so that you don't end up with rubbery, chewy skin at the end. We're going to go through all of those today, but the first one is making sure that you pat the skin really dry with some paper towels right when you get started. Moisture is the enemy when it comes to getting the skin nice and crispy. Now, I used to spend a lot of time trimming up the skin, but I don't really bother with it anymore. If there's any nasty pieces you want to get rid of, then by all means, but for the most part, I leave the skin intact because it's going to shrink down quite a bit as we cook, as you'll see later. Another trick is to season your chicken thighs ahead of time so that the salt can really work its way into the skin and help dry it out as well. You can keep them skin side up in a pan like this or on a wire rack to get even more airflow around them. Put them back in the refrigerator uncovered overnight or even a few hours before you put them on the smoker. It does make a big difference. Now, you don't need to use any oil to get your seasoning to stick. The seasoning will stick just fine, and there's already a lot of fat under the skin. In fact, if anything, the oil will inhibit our skin from getting crispy by blocking moisture from releasing while it cooks. The only time oil helps is when you're deep frying at very high temperatures, and that's not what we're doing today. For the rub today, I'm using an old favorite, which is the Gospel by Meat Church. This has become my go-to all-around barbecue rub for pork and chicken specifically. Great color, great flavor, not too salty, not too sweet. It just seems to work on everything. Now, it does have sugar in it, so we need to be mindful of our temperatures at the end, not to go too crazy with the high heat so that we don't burn the rub. If you want to use really high heat at the end, like a gas grill to get your skin really crispy, just go with straight salt and pepper versus using a barbecue rub that has sugar in it. While the seasoning's working its way into the meat, let's go ahead and get the grill set up. Now, whatever kind of pellet grill you're using, you want to make sure you're cleaning out the ash pot before every cook. We made a video showing what can happen if it gets overfilled with ash and your lit pellets back up into the auger. I'll put a link to that video down below, but let's just say it's not good. Make sure to keep it cleaned out. Next, we're going to add our pellets. Today I'm using Royal Oak, Hickory, and Charcoal. I've really been enjoying these pellets lately, especially on shorter cooks. I seem to get more smoke flavor in a shorter period of time, having the charcoal pellets mixed in as well. And hickory always goes well with pork and chicken. As you know, I like to keep my pellets in an airtight bucket like this one from Oklahoma Joe's. It's really nice for keeping the moisture out so they burn better and make better smoke. I can also shake out the dust before I dump them in my hopper. And it's just a convenient way to keep my pellets organized rather than having a bunch of rolled up bags all over the place. I'll put a link to this bucket as well as everything else I'm using today down in the description if you want to check it out. Now we're going to turn on our grill, let it run through the startup cycle, and set the temperature to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's talk about cooking temperature for a minute. Now, there's nothing special about 250 degrees. We're going to smoke our chicken thighs here for a little while, let them get some smoke flavor, and cook partially to get that skin dried out even more so that it renders better when we crank up the heat. If you're in more of a hurry, you can start them at 275 or 300, or even go straight to 325 degrees, which is what we're going to finish them at. Chicken thighs are extremely forgiving, and you can really start them at whatever temperature you like. If you've got all day and want to put a lot of smoke on them, start them down at 200 or 225 and just let them run for a few hours before you crank up the heat. Point being, they're going to be delicious no matter what temperature you start them at, as long as you take them up to the right final temperature and really render all the fat under the skin at the end. While the grill's preheating, I'm also going to light up a pellet smoker tube filled with the same Royal Oak pellets we're using in the hopper, and also some hickory wood chips for added smoke flavor. If you're adding wood chips to your smoke tube, try not to use more than 1/4 wood chips versus 3/4 pellets. Too many wood chips in the pellet tube and they'll just ignite and you'll have a little mini fire going. Try to mix them in evenly with the pellets, and again, this is just if you're using a pellet tube. Never use wood chips in the hopper of your pellet grill itself. We made a full video showing how to light up and use a pellet tube smoker, which I'll put a link to below, but in a nutshell, you want to use a butane torch for a few minutes to really get the pellets on top lit until the flame stays and does not go out. Let that flame burn for about 5 minutes, then blow it out gently and lay it down on its side. One of the most common questions I get is how to keep the pellet tube lit throughout the entire cook, since they seem to go out so easily. Well, it's all about airflow. You want lots of airflow in and around it the whole time you're cooking. So avoid putting it right against the side of your grill because that's going to block airflow on that side. And if you put it right next to the thermometer especially, it's going to throw off all your cooking temperatures. Secondly, make sure that your exhaust chimney cap is open all the way. There's no reason on a pellet grill that this should ever be closed down. Pellet grills are a forced air system, and you need lots of airflow in order for them to work correctly. And your pellet tube is going to 100% go out on you if that cap is closed down. So keep it away from the sides of the grill, especially your thermometer. Keep that chimney cap open all the way, and it should stay lit throughout your entire cook. Once the grill's up to your chosen temperature and the smoke tube's going, you can put the chicken thighs on. I'm putting mine on the right side of the grates because on my particular PIT BOSS 1150 model, that hot flame broiler slopes down and is further away from the grates on the right, so the right side is cooler. Once they're on, try to leave them alone, keep the lid closed, and let them do their thing. I hope you're enjoying this video so far. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you, our audience, for watching us and supporting our channel these last few years. It's amazing how far we've come since we first started, and that's because of you, so thank you. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as this really helps support our channel even further. Okay, let's get back to it. After an hour and a half at 250 degrees, our chicken had come up in temperature to about 145 degrees internally. Again, your time will vary depending on your temperature setting, but at this point, I was ready to turn up the temperature on the grill to 325. For this style of barbecued chicken, I'm not cranking the heat up to 400 degrees or putting them directly over the fire pot with direct heat because I'll just end up burning the sugar in my rub like I mentioned before. If you're using straight salt and pepper, feel free to go for those higher temperatures if you want really crispy skin. Since I'm going to be saucing this chicken, I don't need the skin to be super crispy because the sauce will undo a lot of that anyways. I just want the fat underneath the skin rendered so that it's easy to bite through and not chewy or rubbery. So turn up your grill, and once it's up to temperature, start moving your chicken over to the hotter side with the skin side down. Close the lid and let them continue to cook. Let's talk about internal temperature. Now, as we know, chicken is safe to eat once it gets to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And for lean white meat chicken breasts, we don't want to take them any higher than this or else they'll really start to dry out. But when it comes to dark meat chicken thighs, they have way more fat and connective tissue, in many ways more similar to a pork butt or a brisket. And because of this, some people say, well, bring dark meat up to 175 instead of 165. I still don't think this is enough. I actually think they taste best when they're brought up to 200 to 205 degrees, just like a pork butt or a brisket. If you think about it, why would it be any different? It's the same idea, letting all that fat and collagen melt away at those higher temperatures. That's where the juiciness comes from in dark meat. So I'm really not concerned with overcooking them. Most of the time when I've had bad chicken thighs, it's because, yes, they were safe to eat above 165 degrees, but they were still undercooked and still kind of fatty and chewy versus tender and juicy. So while, yes, I'm still going to be monitoring the internal temperature of our chicken thighs during this stage, what I'm more concerned about is getting all that fat to render out from under the skin. Depending how hot your pellet grill gets, you're going to want to check the skin every 5 to 10 minutes just to make sure you're not overdoing it. You should hear plenty of sizzle at this stage and even see a lot of the fat rendering out as you move the chicken around. If you're not, try turning the grill up another 25 degrees. After about 20 minutes on my grill with the skin side down at 325, I felt like they were ready to move back over and sauce. At this point, our internal temperature was up to almost 190, but as you can see, at that temperature, we're getting plenty of fat and collagen breakdown, and these chicken thighs are nice and juicy. Move the chicken back over to the cooler side, still skin side down, while you start to get them sauced. We're going to keep the temperature at that higher 325 setting for the rest of the cook. For my sauce today, I'm mixing 2 of Aaron Franklin's brand of barbecue sauces, going with half original and half vinegar. I really like his original barbecue sauce. It's not super sweet. It reminds me a little bit of Arthur Bryant's barbecue sauce, if you've ever tried that. But it's got a ton of flavor, and you can use a lot of it without making everything super sticky sweet, which I like. The vinegar sauce is similar to Blues Hog Tennessee Red, maybe not quite as much bite as Blues Hog, but still very, very good. Brush some sauce on the bottom of your chicken thighs while they're still skin side down. Close the lid and let them cook for about 10 minutes to get that sauce nice and tacky. Then we can go ahead and turn the chicken over. At this point, the skin should be fairly crispy and will have shrunken up quite a bit, which is a good sign that a lot of the fat has rendered out underneath. Then you can add your sauce to the skin side, close the lid, let them cook for the final 10 minutes, and then remove them from the grill. All right, let's give one of these smoked chicken thighs a try. Delicious, juicy, able to bite through that skin there. Again, it's not super crispy. You're never gonna get that with barbecue chicken, putting sauce on it, but still you want it bite through and not rubbery and not just people taking it off and throwing it away. You want it to render down and be delicious. Lots of good smoke flavor, great flavor from that gospel rub we used and the Aaron Franklin sauce. It's not super sweet, just a good quality savory sauce that doesn't just like hit you over the head with sugar. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons to help support our channel. I'll put a link to the full step-by-step recipe at madbackyard.com, as well as links to all the products we used today down in the description below if you want to check them out. Thanks for watching.